Welcome to Sib Spot. Today's Reddit stories are from Am I the A-hole? Story 1 is by Gaucho8917. Am I the a-hole for telling my mother it was inappropriate to ask my brother to FaceTime him during my sister-in-law's labor and delivery? I'm a 38 female. I was in the group chat with the rest of my family awaiting the arrival of my brother, 34 male, and sister-in-law's, 29 female, baby boy. When my brother sent a message saying his wife was dilated enough to start pushing, and the doctor and nurses were there getting everything set up, my mother sent back a text saying, FaceTime. I was horrified that they would do that because my sister-in-law is an extremely quiet and private person. I couldn't imagine any scenario in which she was okay with that. So I shot saying, absolutely not unless sister-in-law agreed to this. That is a completely inappropriate request. My mom came back with, she did, and I just said, whatever. My dad then jumped my behind in a text message saying that I shouldn't talk to my mother that way, that she and my brother had already discussed doing this and that it wouldn't be during the actual delivery of the baby, but afterwards. I told him I didn't care what my brother and mom had discussed as they weren't the ones in labor. And if my mom wasn't intending to FaceTime during the actual delivery, then why did she demand to FaceTime as soon as my brother said it was time to start pushing? And why did she say sister-in-law had already agreed in response to my message? Honestly, even if sister-in-law did agree to this, I still don't think it was an appropriate thing for my mom to ask. If it didn't come as an unprompted offer directly from my sister-in-law, it's incredibly inappropriate for anyone else to ask. My brother and mother should have respected my sister-in-law enough to grant her privacy for such a momentous occasion. Am I the a-hole for snapping at my mom and defending my sister-in-law? I think this was mostly a misunderstanding. Your dad texted you afterwards to say it wasn't meant to be during the actual delivery of the baby, but afterwards. I have a feeling that your mom was saying FaceTime to remind her that she said she would probably show the baby on FaceTime after the delivery. I think the timing was just bad. I think this was just her way of reminding you guys that sister-in-law said, yeah, I'll show the baby afterwards via FaceTime. And it's possible the mom is not super technologically literate, which happens a lot. And she said literally 3 words to you, FaceTime, and she did. So that can lead to misconception and misunderstanding. 3 words. I do not see anything in here about you snapping. You said the word whatever. Your dad has to lay off. You thought she was actually wanting to film labor. I think she didn't mean that. I think she was just reminding sister-in-law. As soon as the delivery's over, FaceTime us. I think she's just reminding. She's so excited about it. And that's good. I really just think this is a misunderstanding. Down in the comments by Electronic Shoelace. I see the other comments asking if sister-in-law agreed or not, and I too feel like that's the pivotal question. But if that's what sister-in-law agreed to with her mother-in-law, I feel like your brother would have just FaceTimed your mother to tell her it was time, rather than needing to send a text message and get a response. Not the a-hole. Even if sister-in-law did agree to FaceTime, it's not a problem for you to defend her. People in labor are very vulnerable, so even if your efforts weren't needed, it's still a nice gesture. Like when some other woman tells you there's a creep checking you out and you look over and see your boyfriend. She might have been wrong, but I love that she was looking out for me. Electronic Shoelace, I think that must have happened to you in the past. Because you changed the subject in the middle of that. She might have been wrong, but I love that she was looking out for me. Down underneath by Hey, I'm Bella Boo. I agree, not the a-hole. She was trying to help. Even if it was not needed, that does not make her the a-hole. Underneath that by Strawberry93. Someone who had already asked your sister-in-law for permission would not have responded defensively like your mom did. You were right to ask and right to protect her from something she would have found humiliating when she couldn't protect herself. Nobody uses the word misunderstanding or miscommunication in this, but I really feel like it was a misunderstanding. Your dad said that your mom wanted FaceTime after the baby was done being delivered. They want to see the baby right away. And it's awesome that you guys have people waiting in the wings to welcome the new baby into the world. Everybody's excited, and that's good. 3 words, you can't really pass a judgment on that. Our next story is by HeadAd5624. Am I the a-hole for wanting to wear pajamas or baggy clothes while going out in public with my boyfriend? So for context, me, 20 female, and my boyfriend, 20 male, were going out to a shopping center about a week ago. This area is popular and it's always decorated beautifully festive for the holidays. Maybe this is just me acting like a bum, but I thought it would be cute to wear those red flannel or plaid, I don't know what to call it, pajama pants with a regular black hoodie. Something about it being Christmas made it seem charming. I asked him what he thought about the outfit and he immediately said no. I was a bit surprised. He said he believes pajamas are only to be worn in the house, and to wear them in public tells the world I have no self-respect. I was surprised again and told him I've got self-respect, I just thought it would look cute. He then said it would be disrespectful to him if I wore them out while with him. Which I tried to understand from his perspective. I ended up switching to a more acceptable option: gray sweatpants. Fast forward to last night. We were already upset sharing our feelings about a different topic, and eventually he brings up the pajamas again. I still cannot believe we're talking about the pajamas, so I am completely stunned and ask something along the lines of, "Are we still seriously talking about that outfit I wanted to wear?" He then tells me about how it's not just the outfit, and that many of my clothes are baggy and too big for me, and how I look completely dwarfed by my clothes when they don't fit my form. Lots of my casual clothes are t-shirts that are too big for me. They're size medium, and I'm extra small. And even the ones in my size look big because I'm a small girl, and some color of sweatpants. I never thought anything bad about my baggy clothes until this conversation. He says he knows I have better, really cute and well-fitting outfits, so it comes off as lazy and me not caring about what I look like when I leave in bigger clothes. Some quotes from him last night. "I want to show you off and be proud to be next to you, but it's hard when you don't put any effort into your appearance. I want you to look good, if not for yourself, then for me." I understand why he didn't want me to wear pajamas in public, and I respect it, but he also just called out like 50% of my wardrobe. When I don't wear those clothes, I have dresses and a skirt, jeans, joggers, and some slacks, but like 75% of my regular shirts don't hug my body at all. I love this man. I want for him to feel comfortable being seen with me. It's just that this hurt my feelings, mostly because I didn't know he felt this way about my casual wear. Am I just being insensitive or lazy? Am I the a-hole? Edit for info, this wasn't a date. We were out running errands and he wasn't dressed up. We've been together for over 4 years. I've always worn generally looser clothes and he's never brought it up before. Yes, I'm an American. He is too, but he lived in Europe and the Middle East for a long time as a kid. That right there answers it. He's the a-hole here. He doesn't dress up, but he expects you to put more effort into the way you look. He's the a-hole. Ditch him. There's better people for you to give your heart to than somebody who won't dress themselves up but expects you to do more for your appearance. F him. Ditch him. Down in the comments by Embarrassed Panic 37. Everyone sucks here. I'll get to the PJs issue later, but regarding his comments on your general clothes, I could see why he might be frustrated if he typically puts more effort to dress nicely himself. But then he should just find someone more compatible with him. Not try to control what you wear. You wearing PJs outside as an adult is not cute. Underneath that by Corey Jams. Wear whatever you want anywhere you go. These are all BS made-up ideas and none of it matters. Honestly, these arbitrary rules that we hold each other to are so damaging. Please just wear what you want and let other people wear what they want. Maybe you don't respect them for their clothing choices, but I think it's a bit wild to think that someone deserves disrespect for failing to conform to your own expectations. Keep them on yourself and leave other people alone. And underneath that by Just One Girl. To each their own, I suppose. I feel disrespected or disappointed when I put some efforts on my appearance and then my boyfriend just shows up in sweatpants and joggings. We know each other at our worst because we FaceTime at home and we did some renovations at my place, but when we go out, this is a date. No, I disagree with that one. Not every time you go out somewhere is it a date. Date is you're going out to dinner somewhere, you're going out to a movie somewhere. If you're just at the store picking up some stuff and the place happens to be decorated for Christmas, that's not a date. You're just out and they decorated. Underneath all that by Local Initiative 8523. My wife told me much the same thing once. For work, I put on a smart suit and a snazzy tie, contact lenses in, clean shoes, looking good. Then I would go out with her in dirty trainers, scratch glasses, and a baggy t-shirt. I made her feel like she wasn't a priority in my life. I agree in theory with the comment above yours. We should dress for ourselves above all, But I don't think that should exclude making an effort to look good for our partners. Some people are really picky about the way other people dress when they're with them. For some reason, when I was reading this story, it made me think of the old Sabrina film, the one with Humphrey Bogart and Audrey Hepburn. Not the newer one. I actually really like the one from the mid-90s. But the old one I watched fairly recently, and it's kind of weird to look back on super, super old films and see the way they talked to women back in the day. Like, Audrey Hepburn was super, super beautiful. She was just always beautiful. And there's one scene where this man in France with her says, "We must teach you to not dress like a horse." Like, nobody noticed her or saw her until she started dressing in extravagant and expensive clothing, and then everybody wanted her. And it's just funny how old-fashioned some people still are today. If you're not dressed nicely, then I can't be proud of being next to you. I can almost guarantee you this guy, if she were dressed super nice and everybody was like, "Oh, that girl is just so beautiful, he's so lucky to have her," he'd start to get jealous. He strikes me as the super controlling type. But maybe he's not. Maybe you guys need to have a discussion about when it's appropriate to dress casually and when it's not. Draw that line. Like, we go into the store for grocery shopping, I see that as a dress-up time. If he's not dressing up too and he expects you to dress yourself up and look super nice wherever you go in public, then it shouldn't work out because he's not worth your time and he's stuck in an age where women have to put so much more effort into their looks than men do. Because you need to be like a trophy next to him. You're not a girlfriend. You're something for other men to gawk at. And he wants that from you. That's not a healthy relationship at all. Our next story is by Gyula Chan. Am I the a-hole for wanting to ruin my family's Christmas with my vegan feast? Oh, it's another vegan post. I was lactose intolerant since I was 11. We visited my grandma frequently and she cooked us a meal every time. As we explained the intolerance to her clearly, but she still never cooked anything for me. I ate rice by myself or similar meals. She doesn't have memory issues, so she just didn't want to make extra work for herself by making a different dish or altering the one she'd already planned for us. I didn't say anything because I hate conflicts, and I didn't mind going home hungry if I got to spend time with my family. Every time before we left, my mother told my grandma in a calm way that what she did was disrespectful and made me sad. Later, my aunt, her son, and husband moved in with my grandmother. She worked for the dairy industry and had friends whose children have food allergies, so she's quite educated on lactose intolerance. When they moved in, her and my grandma did the cooking 50-50, but nothing changed for me. They still didn't make anything for me. One day, when this had gone on for several years, my mother had enough, called my grandmother, threatening her that she would never see me again if she didn't prepare me at least one dish the next time I visit. I didn't know of this phone call and thought they had realized they should just care about me enough to cook me something I could eat. After this point, I always had something to eat. In 2020, I went vegan, telling them ahead of time. My aunt's family moved to a different city, but when we visit, they still make the meal 50-50. Making vegan foods doesn't cost them more because they don't buy special vegan substitutes. They just make the same meal without animal products. I don't expect them to, just saying that my diet doesn't affect their finances. One Christmas, my grandma comes to our house, and the other she goes to theirs, and on the 25th, the other side of the family visits the house Grandma stayed at, and we prepare a tasty holiday feast. Last time when it was our turn to celebrate with Grandma, my mom, not vegan, decided to make a plant-based feast for the family. Everyone said that it was good. Now, I know how to cook, and I see how much my mother works during the holidays, so I decided to do it all so she could relax. I can't cook meat and don't want to. When my aunt heard that there won't be any meat on the table at the family gathering, she got angry at me and said that I'm selfish because I'm the only vegan in the family. I asked her children and Grandma if they have problems with a vegan meal. They don't. She says that satisfying guests is her priority and she doesn't get why she can't get the same attention back. I feel like it's rude to criticize my Christmas menu almost 20 days before Christmas and complain about the food when I still have no idea what I'll make. Her oldest son keeps sending me vegan recipes, excited about a vegan Christmas. I don't like seeing people eating dead animals, so it would be a Christmas gift for me. Am I the a-hole for not changing my mind? I get the slightest vibe at the end of this that you might be the a-hole in this situation. Because simply put, she can bring meat if she doesn't like that there's no meat in the food. But you saying, I don't like seeing people eat dead animals and I need this to be a Christmas gift to myself, that strikes me as you might be a bit of the a-hole. If she wants meat, she can bring her own dish and other people can eat it. You have to stop having a problem with people eating what they want around you. It's not a problem that you want to cook this entire menu. If they want meat, that's okay too. And you don't have to stop having a problem with it, but you don't like seeing people eat dead animals and you want this Christmas gift for yourself indicates you're not allowing them to also bring a meat dish if they want to. And if that's the case, that would make you an a-hole in this case. You want a Christmas gift to yourself, give yourself a Christmas gift. Don't try to dictate what they can and cannot eat while at your house. Our stories for today have come to a close. Until we meet again, have a wonderful day.